Alright, welcome to the Tuesday show. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
Sorry for the slight delay. Things happen.
Yeah, just
like
weirdness going
simultaneous computer problems and
right.
2 separate computers. That only seems to happen in James's place.
Yeah, I know. It's only in this basement room.
That's it.
When we used to be upstairs, it wasn't even like this.
Never had a problem. My tablet's never had a problem elsewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, what happened this past weekend?
I don't know. Kind of important.
Some big stuff happened this past weekend. We'll recap the Capcom Cup 2015. We'll talk about what happened there and the players and all that sort of stuff. We've got a big old conversation we'll have to have about that. That's for sure.
I know. There's a lot to talk
about in that one. That is for sure.
I mean, we should go down and rate each player's performance a little.
That sounds fun to me.
That actually sounds kind of neat.
Sure. Other than that, we will talk about the fantasy brackets that we had set up. Thanks to Mad Catz for offering the prizes. Good job to Maxoplata for providing the place to actually do the fantasy brackets. That was pretty sick, and as well as some interesting sort of stats that have been based on that. So we'll hand out the prizes essentially, or say who won.
Right.
Okay. We'll also talk about some cool games that are going to be on the PC, on Steam.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
That's pretty sweet. We'll talk about Street Fighter V and KOF14 impressions. They were at the PSX, where the Capcom Cup took place.
New characters announced.
That's right, new character announced. Yeah. And then, I don't know if there's anything else, then we'll get to that as well.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff.
Lots of, I mean, it never stops. It never stops.
It basically never stops. All right, anyway, the Capcom Cup 2015 this past weekend. I had fun. Did you have fun?
I did. I had a lot of fun there.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I didn't get a chance to do a lot of the other stuff, like literally at the PlayStation experience itself. I only was at the Capcom booth. I didn't get to check out anything. I didn't see KOF14 at all. I didn't get to look at anything.
Okay.
As far as for all I knew, it was just a Capcom event. Like seriously, that's how it felt to me because I didn't get the chance to see anything. So.
I only walked around a little bit at the PlayStation experience. I saw KOF14. There was quite a line for it, so I didn't play it. But like Romance was there, so Steve and I talked with them, and that's presumably a pretty good source. So we'll talk about those impressions. Other than that, Steve and I, Sajam and I, just like walked around, and that was it. We just like do one of these little loops, and we were like, oh, it's like wargaming, and then oh, it's whatever the crap. Video games of some kind were there. I'm not interested, to be honest.
Damn.
So we just went back to Street Fighter V after that. But as far as the actual day of the Capcom Cup goes, look, it was maximum esports. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, a lot of people were like talking about it on Twitter. Like a lot of the esports guys were like, "Welcome to esports!"
Well,
all that stuff like that. I mean, look. I mean, that was actually something I kind of did want to talk about. You know, just like, oh, is FGC esports?
Okay,
now?
maybe we'll save that discussion for a little bit from now. But certainly, it was fancy.
Yes,
can we say that?
Yeah, for sure.
You know how I don't know if people watched, then you saw there were doors that the players and commentators walked out of. Right. That were like
video
projected
screens?
video screens with the players, with characters on them. You know, it turns out that you walked out to Cammy.
Oh, really?
Just by chance, because they were all by chance.
A lot of them were accurate, though. At least I saw from my player side. Like, I saw a few of them were off, but a lot of them were... Like, I know GamerBee came out to Adon and stuff like that.
Maybe it wasn't random then, but I walked out to T-Hawk to no fault of my own. I would have requested, like, Dan or Zangief or something, but... well. But I thought that was pretty sick looking. Right. The stage itself was pretty sick looking, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, one of the only complaint that I have about the way that the room was set up was obviously it's not set up for acoustics, right? Yeah. So while we were sitting up there while doing commentary, like we were trying to get the audience all like hyped up. We're like, hey, come on, guys, you know, it's grand finals time, blah blah blah, and all that stuff like that. I guess they were loud.
That's what people have told me.
Right, and like we were, I could tell that the two of us were sitting there like, come on, guys, let's get loud, like please. One, the people at home couldn't hear. Two, we certainly couldn't hear.
We could not. It's so strange. We were seated 20 feet from people. Not even that. 10, 15 feet. And somehow we just couldn't hear like almost anything. Yeah. Like I don't know. Look, the headphones were pretty sick.
Right. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit because I had an issue with the headphones.
Ah, wow. Okay. All right. Well, So that wasn't the greatest. Certainly last year, the venue was like way cooler.
Right. Well, what they should have done, honestly, is the one thing they were missing was the crowd mic.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of events, you mic the crowd,
yeah.
right? And that was the one thing that they were missing. If they had the crowd mic and we could hear it and the audience could hear it, it would have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, apparently at home people saw seats that were empty constantly. That's what people kept saying.
Well, that was at first. Right?
Well, at first it was probably about a third full. It was not very full. It ended up getting pretty full. But there were always like some seats that didn't have people in them. But like just the way that the cameras were like pointed at those seats.
Gotcha.
That kind of sucks.
Gotcha.
But oh well.
Because basically by the end of the day, the room just looked packed.
Yeah, like almost all the seats were filled by the end.
Filled to the brim. So yeah.
But I did like last year's venue.
The technology was better.
It was,
so the Warfield is obviously meant for musical concerts and stuff like that. It wasn't designed for all the fancy, video introduction. It's a concert. It was a concert venue, right? So this was definitely more, technologically advanced kind of venue. So yeah, there was a lot more things there. So.
Oh man, you guys should have seen the back. The back was ridiculous. Like there were, I don't know, how many people do you think were working on like the video and audio in the back? Like 60? 50? I mean, it was legit, like multiple dozens of people.
Like stage directors and everything.
Yeah.
Like we had to talk to stage directors, and they're like, "We're gonna have these people. You have to do this." People were running around like in the back, like panicking constantly over there. And dude, it's crazy because I mean, obviously we're not used to this kind of thing, but like behind the stage, there's like walkways in tape and everything. Like this is where you walk, don't walk. Dude, it was a pretty fancy setup.
It was a pretty fancy setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we got out there at first, I thought we were a little bit shaky. To start.
Dude, when we started, we were terrible.
I think we were pretty bad.
I was just like, and
then I sort of like wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
Right.
I was like,
right.
And then I like repeated something that you said. And, it did not go well at the start. But once games happened, it was okay.
And you could kind of tell that one thing that we did do better this year, though, is that we commentated like we were on stream.
Yeah, we did.
Because last year, remember when we did Capcom Cup, because we knew people were hearing us, we were like, didn't want to say anything. This time we were just like, yo, he has a meter.
That's true.
He's been abusing that stand fierce.
Yeah, you're right.
We didn't care.
Right. We just said everything. Yeah. So I thought that was better. Like once the games happened, I thought that it was better than last year. So that was cool. Anything else to talk about other than the gameplay?
Let me tell you this right now, right? Okay, so one thing is, like, doing sponsor shout-outs, like, I noticed you had a little game going that you always made sure that you never had to do any of the sponsor shout-outs.
James, I've never said a sponsor shout-out. The only sponsor shout-out that I said this year was Holy Totinos.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. You did it every one.
I was trying to bait you into it one time, but you reversaled me on it. I was actually really impressed with that.
I don't remember that.
Because basically it was just like, we would get word in our headphones like, give a shout out, right?
Yeah.
And like you'd be talking.
Yeah.
And after you finished talking, then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring up a game point.
Okay.
And I started talking about games, blah 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 blah, and I cut it off. I was like, that's the end of the discussion. And you found a way to keep the conversation going. And you're like, yeah, and I go blah 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 blah. And I was like, damn it. Alright, shout outs for the sponsors.
I didn't even notice, to be honest.
But dude, like if I have to do sponsor shout-outs for like Turtle Beach, Mad Catz, very easy. Dude, Totino's, it's so hard.
Yeah, I know.
I don't, because, okay, look, I've had Totino's pizza rolls before. They're good, I mean, I can honestly say they're good stuff.
Okay.
But look, I'm sorry, Totino's, but your slogan is terrible. And I don't want to, I can't bring myself to, I said it once at SCR, and I just felt so terrible saying it.
What is it? I don't know. It's something.
Live free, couch hard.
That's right.
That's right. I couldn't repeat it. Like, I know that's what we should be saying, but I couldn't do it. So
No, I hear you. I'm not opposed to doing the ads or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess I just think that you're better at it. That's all.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like you like sound like more into it. Like if I said it, it would be like, yeah, shout outs to Mad Catz, which I don't want to do. I just think I'm not that good at that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, maybe that's something to work on.
But I mean, my problem with the headphones, honestly. So the reason why I had a problem with those. So when I don't have headphones on, like normally my hair is very voluminous. It sticks up. It puffs out like that. The headsets that we had on stage, when they're closed, they look like this. When you pull them apart, this headband part does this weird thing where it splits into two pieces and divides. So it like opened up, almost like a bear trap. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a bear trap kind of thing. And so what it does is it leaves this giant hole in the middle.
It's true.
And there's two bands. So literally I had two bands pushing down on the out parts of my hair like this.
That's true.
But then the middle would just stick up. And so as described to me by someone who texted me and tried to warn me, it looked like I had a shark fin the entire time. I had like a shark fin in the hair.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so that's why it was all messed up all the time. So yeah, it was really annoying. It was really frustrating. And then of course, when I first came out, like, there was one of the stage ladies in the back was, like, looking at me and Mike, and she was like, okay, you should come out this way, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, go ahead and leave your suit unbuttoned, right? So I was like, okay, yeah. I'll leave my suit unbuttoned.
Yeah.
I walk out, and I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then I check my phone, and Pat the Flip's like, the internet agrees with me, James, button your suit. So I was like, oh, crap, I guess I got to button my suit. So I started buttoning it while I was sitting down.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the wrong thing to do.
Correct.
So I literally had it buttoned when I shouldn't have and didn't have it buttoned when I should have. So
yeah.
I did the exact opposite of everything I was supposed to do.
If you're standing, it should be buttoned. Mm-hmm. And if you're sitting, it should not be buttoned. But that said, I notice on like sports, when they're sitting down, it usually is buttoned. But like they have different suits and ties,
right,
for sitting down. Mm-hmm. Like they have, people probably don't know this. They actually have different length suit and ties. Yeah, because think about this: when you're standing up, your tie is supposed to reach to your belt, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're sitting, it like obviously you're in a different position, so it reaches further than that.
Right.
So in order to like make it not look as weird, they have shorter ties so that when they're sitting, it goes to their belt.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's the thing.
Okay. Because look, I have no fashion sense whatsoever. I don't know anything about fashion. I basically have no knowledge of fashion at all. And it's funny because everyone's like, that suit looks like it was too big for you, right? I'm going to say this right now, okay? Look, this is full disclosure on my suit jacket, okay? My suit jacket is older than Filipino Man. Like, that jacket I wore in my high school graduation, which was over 20 years ago.
So it's like...
I don't know. I don't understand.
It's like an early 90s style
jacket. But the weird thing...
Does it have the shoulder things?
Yeah, it had the shoulder things, right?
Yeah,
and then plus another thing, that's too, funny. Is that, like, literally, I was way skinnier back then. So I don't know why it looks so big on me. You know what I mean?
90s jackets were huge.
Oh, well, there it was. There you go. Yeah. So it was just the style at the time. It was the style at the time, yeah. So I really need
and the onion on the belt.
Yeah.
It was also the style at the time.
And so I really need to get a new jacket. So, yeah. So that jacket, is older than Philippines. It's older than Knuckle Dew. It's older than Chris T. It's older than Jace the Ace.
Oh, boy.
Dude, seriously. Like, no, the thing about it is, like, someone's like, get a new jacket. I have never needed to wear that jacket. Like, I just don't need to wear the jacket. I work in computers, so I can go into work in shorts and t-shirts and no one would care, right?
Yeah.
So I've had the same job for years, so I never interviewed, and when I do interview, I just wear a shirt and tie. I don't even wear the jacket.
Well, yeah, I mean, your industry is less formal.
Right, exactly, so...
Actually... I'm the same way. This is what I wore to work today. I have my own office, and I have my own business. So unless I'm going to meet with a client, or I'm like going into mediation or something, I'm just a schmo. Anyway,
you were wearing the salty...
Yeah, the Mad Salty thing from Cross Assault. Do you want to talk about video games?
Let's talk about video games. Okay. Let's like Capcom Cup was ridiculous. Yes. Amazing play.
I thought my tie and vest thing was pretty cool.
No, you know what? I've actually gone to the store and I've actually tried to purchase a vest before.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me very well.
Okay.
I'm too I'm too fat for a vest, really, honestly. Right. Unless I like buy like some gigantic vest or something like that. But I have lots.
They make vests for different sizes.
Yeah, I know, but I just need to like try to check it out and like do so. I need a fashion advisor, damn it!
We're not that esports yet.
I literally need so this is part of the whole.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Who did well at the Capcom Cup?
Hey, let's just go through everybody and just kind of off the cuff. Speaking of clothes, off the cuff. Let's just
do you want to do it in reverse order of placing or what?
I was actually just going to go through the ranking order, but
the ranking.
But actually, maybe we should just do the placing
Okay, sure.
order. Yeah, let's do the placing order.
All right, so let's talk about who got 25th place. Of course, there are 32 players at this. They had been qualifying for it for a year, etc., etc., etc. This was the final day. So the first couple rounds were 2 out of 3. Right. Matchups obviously were prearranged in advance based on seeding points.
Yeah.
So in the first round. Let's see, I actually have the bracket up here. Shout out to SRK for having that.
Embedding the bracket.
Embedding it. That's pretty sick, actually.
And dude, how did Seglia get the flags in there? Everyone's still not sure how he got the flags in challenge. Dude.
I don't know. That's pretty
impressive.
So first round was Momochi versus RB. RB lost. All right. RB then ended up getting eliminated in the losers bracket by Itabashi Zangief.
Right. And so. I mean, look, I'm sure a lot of people didn't pick RB to go pretty far there. I actually was expecting him to do a little bit. I thought he was going to beat Itabashi. Just from matchup purposes, I didn't see that match. Obviously, they did a losers on the other side. So, I mean, there was a lot of... for him to have done well would have been exceeding a lot of expectations. Can't say he did great. Obviously, he went 0-2.
I mean,
can't say he did bad.
It was close against Momochi. He won the game as Hugo.
Right, with Hugo,
I thought Hugo was the right choice because all of Momochi's characters are Shotos. I mean, he plays Elena, I guess, but I don't even feel like that's a bad matchup either. So I thought that Hugo was a good choice, and it was close, dude. Like, wasn't he on match point at one point?
Like, he won the first game. He won the first game, and Momochi was like, thinking about the next game. He was worried. It was close.
So even though RB went 0-2, I think he can sort of put that feather in his cap a little bit. Like it was a solid first game.
I give him a C.
Fair enough.
Yeah, not good, not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
Right on the curve, you know. So
thumbs up. Dark Jua,
he went 0-2 as well.
He did. 25th place. He lost to, let's see, Mago, and then to Fudo.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's really not much you can say about that. Yeah, that's probably another C.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Talk to him a little bit. He speaks English.
Yeah. He speaks a little English. Yeah.
Very nice guy.
I tried speaking to all the Chinese players in Chinese, and they just all kind of laughed at me.
Speak English, please.
What's that?
They asked you to speak English. All right, this is a disappointment. Clearly, Nemo, 25th place. With Rolento. He went 0-2. He lost in the first one to Dashio, which I didn't think was that big of an upset. It was 2-0 though, which was not as close as I might have expected. Right. Then in the loser side, Nemo lost to Valmaster, which I think highly of Valmaster, but that was an upset to me.
Yeah. It was interesting because when I found out that they lost, it was like both players who used their character in really unique ways. Yeah. So I was obviously super happy for Valmaster, but Nemo, I mean, look, he rated himself as one of the top 5 players in the world for the game, in Japan, right?
Yeah.
He got 5th place at Topanga.
Yeah, very good player.
And, that's probably, I don't know, like a D, an F maybe.
Yeah, he might have failed it, to be honest.
To be harsh, 2 players I probably would rate an F, right? Yeah. And Nemo is one of them.
I agree. We'll get to the other one pretty shortly. Yeah. Gact, 25th. Razor Gact, Fei Long, and Sagat. Let's see. Gact lost to...
It was...
Gamer B.
It was Gamer B and then Snake Eyes. Not Snake Eyes.
No, I believe it was Snake Eyes.
Yeah, it was Snake Eyes. Yeah, Snake Eyes, because that was where he busted out Evil Ryu.
Right, yeah. So, unfortunately for Gact, those were both quite close.
Yeah.
Gact, he went Fei against Elena. I thought he might have had like a secret pick because just the way that he was talking to me the previous day, I talked to him a little bit. He was like very like kind of fishy about, like, I was like, do you have a secondary to deal with Elena? And he was like, oh, we'll see. But he didn't. But it was close.
It was 2-1.
It was 2-1. And then against Snake, he went with Sagat, right?
And he did beat Zangief.
He did beat Zangief.
Someone else didn't, though. I will tell you that much. So that was a mistake, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will. But Evil Ryu for Snake took it.
Yeah,
right. So
beat his Sagat and then beat his Fei-Long.
Right. One of those two players, I thought. Oh, look, they're both very good players. Of course, the U.S. crowd was looking for Snake to do well, but he almost didn't. That would not have been an upset either way.
Right.
You know,
so it's really interesting because he outperformed against Gamer B because he did so well. He took the first game and such. But then he underperformed against Snake Eyes. So if it was just Gamer B and then he lost like a really strong to a strong player, not in a situation where I felt like he had an advantage, I would have given him a B for going 0-2. Okay. You know what I mean? But the fact that he made up for his great play against Gamer B, overcoming odds, you know, barely losing, and then losing with his main character to Snake Eyes' Evil Ryu, reset it back down. I mean, that's probably at that point a CC minus. So for him, but again, super strong player, really cool guy.
Oh, very nice. I like him a lot.
Yeah, just hanging out and talking with him. So
E.G. Justin Wong also went 0-2. He lost to Tonpi in the first round, and then in losers, I didn't get to watch any of this. Right. Dako is the one who beat him 2-0 also.
Right. I think we mentioned this during commentary. I know we had this conversation between ourselves. It might have been on commentary. It's hard to remember.
It is.
Dude, if he had went with Rose back in Super, you said like he'd be winning all the tournaments right now.
Oh man, if Justin had dedicated himself to Rose in 2011,
yeah. Look,
he would have been solid.
Elena was a brand new character for him. He didn't even pick it versus Tonpi. He went with Rose. You could tell he kind of forgot how to play that match a little bit. And
I thought Tonpi played it really well.
Oh yeah. Tonpi played really super well. So the problem with it is that, you know, Justin's expectations going into this event were by word of mouth because he was just playing super well in practice sessions with Elena and stuff like that. But honestly, given that he went 0-2 last year and then he went 0-2 this year, I'd give him probably a D at this point. So
I guess you're right.
Wish he would have did better, but you know, obviously not gonna happen.
25th also was Yomi Daiminion with Guile. He lost to, I believe,
Daigo Mahara, and then Tokido.
Right. Yeah, those are pretty good players.
So here's the thing, right? A lot of people have been saying that after this event, obviously the best player in the U.S. is Snake Eyes because he got to 5th place and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Snake Eyes lost to Daigo as well. And you know, granted, he went to loser's bracket first round and made it all the way through and did super well. Dude, Daiminion losing to Daigo and then losing to Tokido, like going 0-2, it's hard to even sit and go like, you know what, he did badly.
Right.
Like, I can't even honestly feel like he did. If he just was in another place in the bracket, he probably would have went a lot further.
Very possible.
Right. So for me, I can't even really give him like I give him like a C+ because I thought he played Daigo well.
Well, I'll tell you that he thinks he did terribly.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like after the event, I went up to him and I was, we were saying goodbye, and I was like, "Hey man, good work," and he was like, "No." He like refused to accept my like sort of just offhandedly chatty good work, and he was like, "You did better than me." To me, I was like, I don't know. All right.
Look, I did talk to Daiminion, and he's not sure he's gonna do well in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, he's not.
Which I think is weird because I think that game is gonna suit him great.
Me too. But that's his thought.
Yeah. He doesn't have a character that he likes so far. Right. Now, because of that, he kind of feels like the last 7 years were a wash for him.
Yeah, he legit said it was a waste. Right?
Exactly.
He feels he wasted 7 years.
Yeah, and you know, if Daiminion gets any word of this conversation that we're having, dude, not even close, right? I mean, look, we all played fighting games when we had no expectations, and we were just playing because we were having fun, right? None of it's a waste. Obviously.
Well, okay. He had fun. He traveled the world.
Right. He's made a name for himself, etc., etc. He'll be fine in Street Fighter V. I honestly believe that. He's trying to pick up a ton of Guilty Gear right now. He said he's basically going to crack out on Guilty Gear Xrd after NEC and stuff like that. Dude, Daiminion will be fine. He will still be a strong player in Street Fighter V. I have every I have every bit of confidence for him. You know, he's gonna be fine. I think he'll still be very strong. There is no way that time was a waste for him. Absolutely not. And I think he's selling himself short. I know it's hard to think positively in that kind of a situation, but I think he's fine. I wouldn't worry if I was him. So.
I told him I agreed with him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why?
Not 7 years.
Damn, look at that. You're not very encouraging at all.
Well, just to be real about it.
Right.
Not 7 years, because I thought the Guile was a good choice until like mid-super or late super. Once people started figuring out unblockables, dude, you had to move. Like, yeah. And people were telling him to.
Oh,
and he tried many times.
Right.
To move to a different character and just didn't stick with it for whatever reason. Didn't like it, didn't fit, whatever. If similarly to Justin, if he had played some stronger character, yeah, I think he would have done way better.
Okay.
And I think he would have won more tournaments and made more money and
done
better at Capcom Cup.
But I don't think it was like a wash or anything like that. Because
he didn't waste his life. I mean, but it's so for like the life aspects of it. It's cool, but like he could have done better in tournaments.
Yeah, because here's the interesting thing is that Dymanian is so good at hitting buttons. He knows exactly what buttons to hit with Guile.
Yeah,
in all situations.
He's great.
He plays more Reed-like. You know, he's a very Reeds-based player. You know, that's why I feel like he's gonna do well in Street Fighter V. He just has to find his character.
I agree with you on that. I think he has a lot of upside there.
Yeah.
All right. So 25th place also Red Bull Bonchan. Bonchan Sagat. Many people's pick as top 3 in the world, maybe best in the world. You hear sometimes, and he went 0-2. He lost to Mise, which he himself was worried about.
Right,
and he was right to be. That was a big upset watch for sure. And then in losers, he lost to Kanba Doyu Xiaohai.
Yeah, it's really funny because if you remember in my brackets, I predicted Xiaohai was going to lose to NuckleDo. And then he would gather himself and beat Mise. Right. But it turned out the other way. So I actually got Xiaohai, his mental thing right. Okay. But, man, if I had put Bonchan in the loser's bracket first round like you did, I 100% would have picked Bonchan over Xiaohai.
That's what I did.
I 100% would have picked him. And the fact that he went 0-2, look, a lot of people picked him to win. He's been one of the favorites all year long. To go 0-2 at Capcom Cup, that to me is the biggest upset shocker of the tournament.
I'm with you.
And so I'm sorry, Bonchan, I have to give you an F for that performance,
I think you're right.
Unfortunately.
I think you're right. I do think that it was the first round I thought was unfortunate for him. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
The second one, sometimes Xiaohai plays like he's the world's greatest. And I didn't see the match because we were commentating another one at the time, but he 2-0'd Bonchan, and I gotta think he did super well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's just the thing is, I kind of get Xiaohai, like how his mentality. It was funny. I had a funny conversation with Dako, but we'll get to that once we get to Xiaohai. But you know, I just felt that if he lost the first round, he's one of those people who would just be like, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, and can really focus himself, which is why I predicted he was gonna beat Mise, despite the fact that Mise was super good. It's just turned out to be Bonchan instead. So I'm not surprised that Xiaohai beat Bonchan. I'm just surprised Bonchan went 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in these ratings, obviously, it's not just whether they went 0-2. It's what were their expectations minus.
I mean, look, people are asking
how they did.
Why is Justin a D and not
right? That's why I bring it up because look, Justin is my dude, but nobody called him to win Capcom Cup.
No.
And a lot of people did call Bonchan, and it was a reasonable thing to do.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, I don't think
that's
anyone
the difference.
Like you know, if you go to Maxoplata's the fantasy brackets, if you wanted to count how many people had Justin winning the tournament compared to Bonchan, I'm sure it was just a landslide.
All right. So Winter Fox 801 Strider with Abel, most unfortunate man of the tournament.
Everyone called it. That first round versus Kazunoko, whoever won that had a good chance of making it all the way to winners finals.
Yeah, we even said that on commentary. Because just looking at how the sort of bracket works out, it could have been Strider versus either Problem or Luffy. It could have been Strider versus like any of Do, fine. Mise, okay. Like Xiaohai, Bonchan. Any of those is like okay for him. You know, very close. it went down to literally the final hit.
Yeah.
He just didn't have enough life to absorb neutral jump fierce from Yun, and like that would have been it.
Right. Well, it wasn't.
Okay, there was one more. No, it wasn't the launchy one.
Right.
But it was like almost there.
It was very close. Yeah. But to be fair, he came the closest to beating Kazunoko out of everybody.
He did. After that, Kazunoko ripped through the whole field. Lost. What I read was he lost 2 rounds, a game and 2 rounds or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, point is, Strider did as well as everybody else in the competition combined, except for Daigo in Grand Finals. So that was a very close one. Then in loser's side, he lost to Luffy 2-1.
I mean, some people are saying like he just mashed down Fierce and looked. He was option selecting it. He was doing throw tech and low Fierce all the time, right? So basically, if Kazunoko did dive kick, that's how he hit him with that low Fierce so many times. It was dive kick and then pow out of there.
It's a pretty fast option that is like exactly tailored to hit here.
And it's because, dude, when you watch Kazunoko versus Daigo, how many times did Kazunoko hit Daigo with dive kick? Like 17 times.
It's tough to deal with for a lot of characters.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
So I'll give 801 Strider a C plus. I mean, B.
Yeah, I want to say a B, to be honest.
Because he came the closest to beating the guy who won. So yeah.
And then even his match against Luffy was 2-1. Luffy 3rd place last year, like former Evo champ. So I feel like that draw for him was it was almost exactly what he needed, and it was just not quite there. He was very upset, but. I think he walked away knowing that like he was really close, and of course that's still upsetting. But it's like it's not like Dominion being like, God, I wasted all this time. It was more like I could have done way better today, and it was just almost there, but not quite. So anyway, 17th places, Problem X, KIG Problem X, Seth and Viper, who he beat Luffy 2-0. He was very happy about that. He then lost to Kazunoko 2-0, and then he lost to Itazan 2-1. So fantastic to him that he beat Luffy. He was really hyped about that.
No one predicted him to beat Luffy.
That's basically accurate. And then losing to Kazunoko again. Kazunoko ripped through everybody who wasn't Strider or Grand Finals Daigo, and he then lost to Itazan. So that is bad news, because Itazan against Seth, Zangief versus Seth.
Okay.
That matchup is tough. It's a bad matchup for Zangief. It's just that Itazan, like I said, Itazan is like the guy to beat a Seth if you're a Zangief. Like he just has the style that'll happen. So I get it, but at the same time, it's disappointing for him. For Problem X.
So probably, again, really good performance, tempered by, unfortunate that he lost to Itazan in a favorable matchup for him. So I don't know what, like C plus maybe.
Yeah, that sounds, I guess.
C plus.
Razor Fudo, 17th place with Faye, lost to, I believe, Human Bomb. Yes, 2-0. And then he beat, Dark Jiwa. And then he lost 2-0 to Knuckle Dew. That set against Human Bomb was Slopsville. You recall that? I mean, on both players' side. But Fudo had more drops, I thought, and kind of strange reactions in some situations. He didn't seem to be playing like he can be. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Fudo who made it to Grand Finals of Canada Cup was not the Fudo we saw at Capcom Cup. So Fudo, another player, a lot of people predicted to go far, didn't do very well. Maybe C minus, D plus kind of situation.
Sure, that sounds good enough to me. Valmaster. YP Valmaster with Chun. Let's see, he beat. He lost to Dashio, and then he beat Nemo. He then lost to Yubiken Shiro. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, beating Nemo was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I was surprised. I wasn't surprised, just because Valmaster's so unusual, right? It's just like all the years of practice against every Chun doesn't prepare you for Valmaster. So beating Nemo was a big accomplishment. But after he beat Nemo, that was kind of like opening the door. That should have been, now let's burst through loser's bracket and body everybody. And it just didn't work out that way for him. So great victory there, but it just didn't pan out. You know what I mean? It was like you beat this guy who's supposedly top 5 in the world.
Yeah.
and then that should spur you forward. And so, I would give him probably like a C at this point. C.
All right. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who else got 17th? Tonpi, who beat Justin.
Well, so Valmaster lost to Shen, is what Sorelius is saying. Was it Shen or Dashio? Because Dashio fought Nemo first round.
Oh, what did I say?
Yeah, you said Dashio.
You're
Dashio.
right. No, it is Shen.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Okay. Thanks.
Just misspoke, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was reading directly off of the bracket. Anyway, Tonpi, that's right, beat Justin.
Mm-hmm.
He then lost to Infiltration 2-0. Mm-hmm. He then lost 2-0 to Snake Eyes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame him for losing to Infiltration and Snake Eyes, right? So
yeah, Infil I get. I do think that Viper beats Geef. I didn't see this match because it was on the loser's side when we were commentating other stuff, but I feel like he should win that. And based on how good his footsies and mid-range are, I feel like that is a more doable thing for him as Viper than for many other Vipers.
Right.
But, Snake Eyes is very, very good. Assuming he even used Geef. I literally did not see that match.
I'm pretty sure he did. So that was probably, just C plus maybe? Or
yeah, maybe like C plus or maybe... Yeah. Look, Tonpi got slept on by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm tempted to say more like B minus. Because he really did not get that much credit for it. And, I saw some people saying online that they were like, mad at me for talking about Justin only and not for Tonpi in advance. You know what happened there? I had all of these notes, extended notes on my tablet, and then we couldn't bring the tablet onto the stage, so I just had to go from memory. And I know a lot more about Justin Wong. I've known him for like 15 years. Right,
so, exactly.
That was the whole reason there. I did feel bad about that. I wish I had more stuff to say, but it was intended. I just couldn't do it. Anyway, Kombat Doyu Dako. I believe he
lost first round.
Yeah, to Infiltration. That's right. It was 2-1 though. Then he beat Justin Wong, like we said. He then lost to Gamer B 2-0.
Yeah, that's not a bad performance there, in my opinion. So. That's probably, B minus play. I mean, obviously he wish he could have did better and stuff like that. Thing about it is, unfortunately for Dako, I know a lot of people probably weren't going in like expecting, him to do super well. So a lot of the ratings does have to do with expectation, not overall performance. So
17th also was Dashio Seth, who beat Nemo, right? He then, lost to Xian, right? Lost to Xian. And then lost to Tokido, 2-1.
Ooh, I didn't see Dashio Tokido.
No, we didn't see any of that round.
I need to go back and watch some of those archives.
I know, I'm gonna too.
Yeah, look, a lot of people had Dashio as the dark horse.
That's right.
In this tournament. And so the fact that he did go 1-2 and finish 17th place is kind of disappointing for him. He lost to two good players, though.
Of course.
Xian and Tokido. So it's like, you can't chastise him for that. But considering he was one of the big dark horses going into this event, it's still got to be like C minus probably.
Yeah, I think I would say C. Then Kombat Doyu Shanghai. Who, in the first one, he lost. Yeah, I'm just trying to find who it was to. Knuckle-Doo, of course.
Right. Then he beat Bonchan.
He then lost to Mago.
Okay. Yeah, look, Xiaohai, that's a perfect example right there. Up and down, Xiaohai. It's really funny because I was talking to Dako, and Dako was just like, man, I teach him everything. Like, everything he knows is because I'm, teaching him stuff. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Again, it was expected for him to kind of go up and down like that, but at the same time, it's just I know he's so capable of so much more. And so to have that kind of situation happen, yes, he did beat Bonchan. That's really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't help but feel like I'd want to give him like a C- or a D+,
really?
plus or something like that. Yeah, like I know a lot of people didn't expect Xiaohai to do well, but it's just like for someone who at one point in time even named himself in the top 10 on the world
He's top 5 actually.
Top 5 in the world. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like I just feel like he needs to be more consistent, and it's hard to see that he's not capable of doing that. So
that's true. He definitely needs to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Then 17th place, EG Momochi, Ken Ilulu. He beat RB. He then lost 2-0 to Punko.
Mm-hmm.
He then, lost 2-0 to Luffy. He went 1-2. EG Momochi. You know, I called him beating RB. I called Punko beating him.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my bracket, it was him versus Strider.
Right.
And I thought that Strider might win.
Mm-hmm.
But I said Momochi only because I felt it was impossible that he would go 1-2. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, for the guy who won Capcom Cup last year, won EVO this year, I just had very high expectations, and that was not met.
I didn't think he was going to win this year.
I didn't think he was going to win either.
I didn't think he was going to win mostly just because I was just like, God, repeating is so hard.
I'm with you.
Hard. So I was just like, the chances are low that he's going to repeat.
Same here.
1 and 2, God, I would not have guessed in a million years, right? No. So, I mean, that's got to be a D- or an F or something like that.
I'm
but
with you.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Again, expectations versus results.
Right.
But he is engaged now to Choco Blanca, so that's very, very cool.
I heard about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. And it's so funny, too, because Choco tweeted one of those bead sprite things of this heart shape with a Ken head and a Blanca head kissing each other.
Aww.
And I saw it, I was like, that's so adorable. Then I thought about it, and I'm like, I just thought that this is adorable of this Blanca head and Ken head kissing each other. And I was like, never in my life.
Yeah?
But I have thought I would have seen something like that and been like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah?
It's so adorable. But, dude, it's like the most adorable thing ever. So, yeah.
So that's it for 17th places. Let's talk about people who got 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Liquid Knuckle Dew with Guile and DeCapri. So he beat Xiaohai. He lost to Mise 2-1. He then beat Fudo 2-0. And then he lost to Itabashi Zangief 3-2.
3-2 to Itabashi Zangief, 2-1 against Mise.
Yeah.
He beat Xiaohai.
He was definitely in those matches.
Yeah, dude. I thought he played fantastic. I thought he did really well. Look, 3 Americans went 0-2.
Right.
Right. He was the only one to win in the first round.
That's true.
Look, he didn't have the greatest performance, but I'm still giving him a B. He still did really, really well.
I think B is fair.
Yeah.
I did expect him to get top 8. I called top 8 for Knuckle Dew.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I mean, where he did get sent to losers against Mise, like Mise beat everybody this tournament.
Right.
Mise was really good, so that's okay. And Itabashi versus Knuckle Dew Guile, I mean, we talked about this recently, but I feel like that's slightly in Geef's favor.
Right.
That matchup, and Itabashi is really good. So, yeah, I think B is fine. Then Yubi Kenshiro with Abel, who beat Tokido, 2-0. Then lost to Umihara Daigo, 2-1. It was close. Then then beat Valmaster, then lost to Snake Eyes. So good stuff to him for beating Tokido. It was a match that Tokido even said he was worried about.
Yeah, and Shiro was like super happy too when he did. You saw he was like, yeah! Like he was ecstatic about that.
Then it was close against Daigo. And that could have gone either way. I mean, if that change had happened, of course, the whole bracket is totally different. That was very cool. I mean, he beat Valmaster, who had just taken out Nemo. He lost to Snake Eyes, the same guy who beat him at Tokyo Game Show. So for me, I think I'm gonna give him a B+.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Good
beating
work.
Tokido was the key right there. So and then losing to Daigo and Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bring this up real quick.
Okay.
Look, nobody in the chat can tell me that this is not the most adorable thing ever.
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty
seriously,
cute.
that is awesome. So that was Choco Blanca's tweet right here. So, but yeah, I mean, look at this thing, dude. That thing is adorable.
That's very
adorable,
adorbs, as they say.
Anyways,
totes adorbs.
Totes. Oh my God, you just went there.
People have told that to me. People have said that in my presence, I should say.
Wow. Okay,
I just feel like I sort of have to get that off my chest. Intermediate Gamer B got 13th with Elena and Adon. So he beat Gact, I believe. Yes. Then he lost to Kaoma 2-1. He then beat Dako. He then lost 3-0 to Tokido.
Look, he has problems against Tokido. Tokido is one of his demons, right? But losing to Kaoma was the big thing right there, because that put him in position to have to fight against Kaoma. Gamer B's been one of the strongest Street Fighter 4 players in the past 7 years, right? He's just been really good. A lot of people had him picked to win. Mike Ross even had him picked to win and stuff like that. Look, I love Bruce to death, but I have to give him like a C- D+ on that performance. So, because so many expectations and didn't do well. And now Gamer B is gonna message me and like, give me my gifts back.
He gave us. Have you had any of those yet?
No, I haven't.
So he gave us these nice bags of like sweets that I had no expectation.
Exactly.
One is a mango pudding.
Right.
That has like the sickest contraption. This is from Taiwan. So you open it up and it has sort of a little plastic bubble cover over it. You know how like Dannon has like the sprinkles in there? This one actually has a folded plastic spoon in there. So you don't need an extra spoon. It was genius. And you unfold it and it's like quite a substantial spoon.
Interesting. Okay.
It was so cool.
Okay.
And then the other one, I don't know how to describe it. It's written in Chinese and it's maybe like slightly sweet, slightly nutty bread, but like sort of minced and like put into a cube.
Oh, okay. I think I know what that. Okay, yeah. But in any case, I'm totally.
Anyway, thanks for the gift, but you didn't do very well.
Oh, man.
Hearts to you.
Well, the funniest part too was that his fiance dressed up in the Elena outfit, the healing outfit, and every time he played Elena, he used that costume. That was very cute.
Yeah, cool to see her too. Mad Catz Mago got 13th place. He only played Yang, I guess, which is probably not that big of a surprise. Let's see. Mago, where are you?
Jeez, I still love the fact that he's just like, I didn't practice against Dark Joel.
That was hilarious. Oh, it was Dark Joel. It was the first round. That was the matchup. Yes, 2-0 over Dark Joel. Then 2-1, Human Bomb beat him.
Right.
So, Mago said he didn't practice against anybody until Momochi.
Who he wouldn't have even faced in the third round.
Completely off.
Yeah.
He lost to Human Bomb, but even if he had won, he would have played against Punko. So that was unfortunate. Then Mago...
He beat
Xiao Hai.
Yeah.
He then lost to Luffy. 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like,
I would say about it like a B-.
You think so? Yeah. Okay.
I didn't have super high expectations for him.
I was about to say like C+ or something, but C+, B-. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of in that region. I didn't have super high expectations. And losing to Luffy is like fine. Like a bunch of people. Momochi lost to Luffy, so like,
people don't.
Third place.
I still don't understand why everyone.
He doesn't get respect, right?
I don't understand it. It drives me nuts. Because like seriously, we did all those World Wars of Capcom Cup videos, and when you go to the Luffy one, it's like seriously, it's just like. I mean, obviously there's a lot of Luffy defenders there, but it's like one of the ones that had the war. You know, the comments are like, Luffy sucks. No, he doesn't. You know, there's so many people don't respect the guy. The guy is so ridiculously good.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. All right, that's it for 13th places. Then 9th place, Itabashi Zangief with Zangief.
Yep.
So let's see. Let's go back up to this bracket here. He won the first one, right?
Do you want me to bust out the bracket over here just on the web?
So that'd be fantastic. He lost to Punko in the very first round. Then he marched through losers. He beat RB, he beat Problem X, he beat Knuckle-Doo. He finally lost to Kaoma, but it was 3-2 and very close.
Right, yeah. That
very
was
close match.
Really, really good match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like touchpadding my way around a tiny embedded bracket. So if you have the real one, that'd be.
Where's this thing?
That'd be pretty nice.
Let's search my tournaments. I want to search all tournaments. How do I get to the freaking thing here? I don't want to go here. I just want to search all the tournaments. Oh, browse tournaments.
Oh, you know what? I got it. I got the big one.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got the big one here. Anyway, so Itazan, good work to him. Keoma, obviously did fantastically this tournament. So ultimately losing to him, no big deal. He lost.
Can you link the bracket in the chat? People.
Oh, sure.
Oh no, never mind. Some people got it. Never mind.
Oh well, I'm gonna do it
anyway.
Okay. Losing to Punko, losing to Keoma, you can't be too upset about him, especially because he went 2-1 against Punko and it was close, right? Again, he plays against Seth better than any other geek, so I would give him like a B+, maybe even A-, honestly. Like,
oh really?
I thought he did really well.
Okay. Cool.
I'm happy for him. Then Human Bomb, CCG, Human Bomb, Sakura, who beat Fudo. He then beat Mago.
Yep.
He lost to Punko. Then he lost to Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Right. So look, beating Fudo.
Man, I would be so ready to give him an A.
Yeah.
Except he just made one really bad mistake.
Agreed.
Really terrible mistake. And the funniest thing too, so here's the story that I got. Vi in the audience was sitting right next to Lapchi.
Yeah. Oh, Lapchi's in here.
Oh, Lapchi's in there, yeah. And they were talking. And Lapchi's like, oh, he's gonna pick Sagat on your boy Snake Eyes. And Vi's like, if he picks a guy, he's done.
Yeah.
He loses.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they went 2-2. He switched to Sagat, and then he
dunked.
His Sakura did super well.
Yeah.
Super well, and then Sagat was just like wasn't even there.
Trampled.
So like, I would give him an A because he did super well. He beat Fudo. Then Snake Eyes, that one error. I won't deduct too much. I'll give him an A-.
Fair enough.
I'll give him an A-.
When that happened, I could hear from across the audience, because we were not commentating at the time, we were in the audience. I could hear from across the audience Lapchi yelling, "Yes!" And I imagined him in my mind going, "Yes!" Even though I couldn't see him. And then, so I yelled back, I was like, "You're wrong, Lap!" Like as loud as I could. And then after it was over, I was like, I didn't want to gloat too much, but I was just like, you see? Just be a jerk.
You can't do it that way, dude.
It was the wrong choice. I really thought he should have stuck with Sakura.
Yeah.
So,
but overall, look, a lot of people were like, oh, Human Bomb, whatever. Like, they forget he's a top 8 EVO player or whatever like that, but he did really well.
He's a good player.
Beating Fudo and then beating, who was the one he beat second? Mago, yeah, that's really good. So
ninth was Mad Catz Tokido, Akuma, who lost to Shiro.
First round.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to it. Yeah, 2-0, first round. Then in losers, he beat Dominion 2-1. He beat Dashio 2-1. He beat Gamerby 3-0. Ended up losing to Mise 3-1.
That's a tough one because honestly, I expected Tokido to get further. But at the same time, getting sent to loser's bracket and then going through those players that he did, it's really impressive. So, I mean, B+?
Yeah,
maybe?
B+ sounds reasonable.
B+, I think. Yeah.
He even said he thinks that Shiro knows his tendencies.
Yeah.
Right? And with a character like Abel, if you know somebody's tendencies, that's a wrap, man.
Yeah, especially if you have 850 health Akuma. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, I think B+, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Luffy Rose, 9th place. So, Luffy lost to Problem X 2-0.
Yeah.
Started out in loser's side after the very first match. Then beat 801 Strider 2-1, beat Momochi 2-0, beat Mago 3-1, ultimately lost to Infiltration 3-0.
Look, Luffy's an amazing player. I'm honestly sick of people not giving him credit that he deserves. Luffy is ridiculous. He's an amazing player. Losing to Problem X was the biggest blemish in this tournament, but dude, he beat Momochi, he beat Mago, he beat Momochi 2-0, right? And he beat 4 rounds in a row, and then he beat Mago 3-1.
And he beat the guy who was closest to beating Kazunoko.
Right.
801 Strider.
Exactly. So, look, A- maybe,
yeah,
B+ kind of thing. I mean, look, I would only give him like a B because my expectations of him were better because he got 3rd last year, right? So I would just thinking to myself, Luffy should have done better. So that's the only reason why I would drop him down to like B+. You know what I mean? Because I thought he would actually get further. So I had him going super far in my bracket, yeah.
Well, he was just outside of top 8.
Yeah.
So let's go into top 8. In 7th place, Keoma Abel. S.
Oh yeah, I was gonna give him A+, but yeah, let's do the Japanese game ranking. Yeah. Look, I said it even before top 8 happened. It didn't matter what happened to Keoma in top 8. He was already MVP of the tournament. Like, he didn't even have to, like, he could have just walked on stage and said, you know what, I forfeit, walked away. I'd still give him MVP because he played so well. And look, when I first saw him play, I even said it. I was like, I expect him to do well. And when we did our predictions, honestly, look, I will tell you this right now. First round, Keoma Snake Eyes. I picked Snake Eyes to win. That was my heart.
Me too. Well, I even said on the air, I was like, this is upset watch.
Yeah, in my brain, the entire time, I was like, I think Keoma's going to win. I really honestly thought Keoma was going to win. I even said it too on our prediction. I was like, he's going to tornado throw him 3 times in a row. He would have, but Snake Eyes died after 2. But you know, there was something in my mind that I was like, Snake Eyes is not going to take this as seriously as he should. And he even kind of hinted at that in the video, too. He was like, I don't think he's as good as 801 Strider, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I honestly was worried about that. And I was like, I think Keoma has the upper hand in this. And sure enough, he took that first game. And then, dude, like...
So, all right, so he beat Snake Eyes 2-0. He beat Gamer B 2-1. Evo was 2nd place, Gamer B. He then lost to Razor Sien 3-2.
He was up 2-1.
If you recall, at the very last end, if he had been pixels closer, his EX Falling Sky would have grabbed. Right. Or if he had done EX COD, he would have hit Gen out of the air.
Right.
Either one of those things, and he beat Sien, and he, you know.
I talked to him about it too. He was like, I should have carried it. I guess Abel has a way to carry it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I honestly didn't think I need to. He's like, I honestly thought I was in range. But I talked to him, and he was even really happy with how he was playing. And in fact, he even, I think you said on commentary afterwards, he was like, he felt like he was going to lose the run back to Snake Eyes, but he was already super happy with how he played. Dude, the funniest thing is when he first showed up there, when I first saw him, it wasn't just for the fact that I saw videos of him, I wouldn't have recognized him. And he was just like the biggest fanboy. Like he was running around the flow. He's like, I'm such a huge fan.
Yeah.
He was doing all that stuff, and it was just like, I mean, he was having so much fun, and I could totally tell, you know, he just had such a great time. And I honestly felt like I could hear all of Brazil like cheering from where we were, dude. Like I said that on commentary. I was super happy for him.
Me too.
He did super well. So yeah.
So after that Sien, he
I forgot to turn that off.
Yeah.
You want to run over and turn it off real quick? Or?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me just say who he lost to.
Sure.
He beat Itazan. He then lost to Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
All right, so 1-1 against Zangiefs is not that big of a deal. I think that's pretty reasonable.
I mean, he went 2.
His real name is Keoma.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He went 2-1 against him too, against Zangiefs, right? So it's really funny too because like when I came home yesterday, I went to Coco Ichibanya, which is like a curry place or whatever. They have this dish that's spelled Keema, Kima. Okay. I almost felt like I wanted to order that just in Keoma's honor, but it doesn't look like something I would like, so I didn't.
Razor Infiltration, 7th place. Only DiCaprio and Chun-Li.
Well, let me ask you this. A lot of people have been bringing up coaching. So they're saying Vi was coaching Snake Eyes backstage and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
And, was there any rule against that?
I thought you were allowed to coach. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I mean, a lot of people were going back there and talking to people.
Yeah, that's true.
I know Renzo, a.k.a. I Peru, was coaching Strider the whole time.
Yeah, he was back there. There were not that there were many people back there who weren't players, but there were like several.
Yeah. So I was just like, I saw Vi back there coaching him, and I was like, this is super cool. Because I was just listening to their conversation and talking and all that stuff. I thought it was super cool. That's why I even brought it up on commentary, you know. Because I just didn't see anything wrong with it, to be honest with you. So I honestly, I want coaching to be a thing.
Yeah, I know.
I want coaching to be a thing
fine,
because there's more roles for people to go to, right? So
yeah, I mean, and it's maybe the issue is that people don't like that he got to go in the back with the players. First of all, I don't love the idea of the in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish that there hadn't been that. I want the players just to be like hanging out. Some of them were. I want them to be accessible. You know, it's silly.
Someone in there says it's unfair to foreigners, right? Look, the non-foreigners need as much help as they can get.
Well, but even on top of that, like certainly after players lost, like after Bonchan lost, I can tell you this. He was coaching as hard as he could.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Best believe it. And then after Mako lost,
he was helping.
Lost,
yeah,
of course.
Oh, they were all coaching each other afterwards, dude. Like, yeah, seriously.
Yeah. They were like on the consoles. Like I could see them playing against whoever their next matchup character was, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know, whatever." Talking about stuff. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
seriously.
So Infiltration, 7th place. So Infiltration, let's see, he beat Tonbi 2-0. He lost to Daigo 3-1. That was a good match. He then, let's see, where am I looking at? He beat Luffy 3-0. He lost to Mise. So that's what ended up happening there in the top 8, first round top 8, 3-2. Infiltration, of course, was picked as, you know, getting to grand finals by like basically everybody. Getting to at least losers finals by like almost actually everybody.
Right.
who I talked with anyway. Like different people were like, oh yeah, Game Review's gonna win. Punko, a lot of people said Punko would win. You know, I had Xian, whatever. Everybody had Infiltration top 3.
Right.
So the fact that he got 7th, I want to say is a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean
even
that's
though,
just
of course, he got top 8.
It's just expectations again.
Yeah.
And look, I'm just gonna give him a C at this point in time. Mostly because when Daigo made that ridiculous comeback, which everyone said was the moment, dude, when Evil Ryu glows, you stand up. What else are you gonna do?
That's right, yeah. The EX overhead.
What else are you gonna do? That's the reason why that overhead's not that great.
Right. It's telegraphed.
Because when he glows, you stand up.
Yeah.
So I was actually surprised he got hit by that. I honestly was. When he got hit by that, I was like, isn't that what everyone is expecting Daigo to do? I don't know. So.
That said, like there are times, even on commentary, I like called what Daigo was gonna do. Like I was like, hey, watch out for X or Y, and then it happened. But I know that if I were to be playing against Daigo, I would never see it coming in a million years.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a million years. Because you got to remember that he's playing against that person. And
right.
The stuff he's going to do against that person is specifically tailored to work against that person in that situation.
Yeah, and someone even says that, you know, James, I would have beaten Daigo Chen. Yeah, that's exactly how I sound. That's how they all sound. And absolutely, I totally would have beaten Daigo. God. Yeah. Right. No, absolutely. You know, it's true though. But
all right. Anything else about Infil?
Just great.
A little disappointing.
Great
fantastic
guy.
dude.
I love that guy so much, dude. Every time
he was asleep right before top 8. Remember that?
With Bunko too. They were both sitting on the couches. Yeah.
Right. So before top 8, I went to go talk to all the players. Top 8. I talked to Mise. There's everybody else. Couldn't talk to those two. Because they were asleep. I didn't want to wake them up. So anyway, 5th place, Arcapa Mise Makoto. Huge thumbs up.
A+ for this guy, dude.
Yeah, let's bring up his results though.
He blew everybody up.
So he beat Bonchan, right? He then beat Liquid Knuckle Dew. He lost to Kazunoko 3-0. Okay, everybody did. Yeah. He then beat Tokido 3-1. That was big. He beat Infiltration 3-2. Huge. Ended up losing to Punko 3-1. Yeah, you gotta say he got an A. A+.
I had look. you know, me sitting here saying I would have beat Daigo, right? I had Mise going 0-2 in my bracket. This is how much I know about Street Fighter.
I had him going 1-2, and I was disappointed to do that.
I
think his character is ridiculous.
Dude, I kept saying that like the whole time. You're like rooting for Mise. I'm like, you just want Makoto to win, just so in that trolly kind of like, see, didn't I tell you this character's broken kind of way, you know?
It's funny because when I was in the crowd, I was hanging out with a bunch of people. Like Pierre and Flo, and I was like, you know, I think Makoto's kind of sheepishly because everybody else disagrees with me. I was like, I think Makoto's really good, and Flo was like, she's ridiculous, and then Pierre was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah.
The whole weekend was the Makoto justification.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, he played. Look, obviously Mise is an
incredible
player. His reads, not even his reads, because that's the character, but his ability to make her move around on the screen to where she needs to be. That's the thing that he does better than anybody else. In particular, like a lot of other people can make reads, but that control of her movement, which is the tough part about her. Right. That's so good.
Speaking of Pierre Balrog's, honestly, tweet of the weekend from him, right? It was like, I'm really glad I didn't qualify. And they put it up on the stream, and like the audience just burst out into applause. Yeah. Like they almost gave him a standing ovation, I swear, dude. It was awesome.
5th place also was Red Bull Snake Eyes. Zangief and Evil Ryu. He lost in the very first round, right? He lost to Keoma, of course, 2-0. He then beat Gact 2-1, despite Gact's counterpick. He then, I lost him. 2-0 over Tonpi, 3-1 over Shiro, 3-2 over Human Bomb, despite Human Bomb's counterpick, or maybe in fact because of Human Bomb's counterpick. Yeah, that's more accurate.
Yeah.
He then beat Keoma 3-1 in the run back and lost, and in dunkage fashion, lost to 3-0 to Daigo Umehara.
Look, I'm just gonna say this: Snake Eyes was this close to just having a big old fat F.
Yeah, for sure.
This close. He was like one game of Evil Ryu versus Fei-Long with Gact away from getting a big old fat F, right? Yeah. Which is why, like what I was saying, that Dominion situation, because he went 0-2, it's so not fair to give him an F or something like that, because he lost to Daigo and Tokido. Daigo, who in fact... like, when Daigo was like, it's just Zangief, like, you can see why he says that, because at EVO and here at Capcom Cup, I mean, he makes that match with Evil Ryu versus Zangief look 10-0. Like, it's like the most lopsided thing in the world, right? But the fact that Snake Eyes did so well, I mean, first round losers and then get 5th place at a tournament like this, including beating the guy who beat you.
Right. A-?
Yes, I was just about to say that. A-. So a lot of people are... The one thing I will say is a lot of people are like, oh, well, even Justin said this, like, conclusively, Snake Eyes is the best U.S. player right now. I'm still up in the air on that one.
Okay.
He obviously did really well in the loser's bracket, but like I said, Dominion just had an unfortunate where he ran a Tokido. Like, if he went against Shiro, he might have gotten further, right? But Shiro beat Tokido kind of situation. I don't want to necessarily say that Snake Eyes is better than Knuckle Dew and Dominion and such like that just yet. But he obviously did really well. Obviously, going to Japan paid off. So
yeah, I guess it did. I don't know, maybe B+, just because he was almost out 0-2.
Right.
And I don't know, he sort of made up for it, but...
Dude, if he just didn't get so bodied by Daigo, like, I would have given him a solid A.
Sure.
But losing to Daigo that badly was rough to watch.
Yikes.
It was so hard to watch. It was like, oh, man. He just literally didn't know what to do, it looked like, so, yeah.
4th place, Arcapapunco with Seth. Good job. Let's talk about who he beat. 2-1 over Itabashi Zangief. 2-0 over Momochi. 3-0 over Human Bomb. 3-2 against Xian. And it was close. It was a close 3-2. Then, let's see, Punko, where does the next show up next? He beat Mise. He lost to Daigo again, 3-2.
Close.
It was close.
Really close.
So I want to give him an A, because 4th place overall. At this point, everybody's getting an A.
Yeah.
Everybody gets an A there. But in fact, because so he was 3-2 against the 2 people who he lost to. So it really could have. It was very close to going differently in both situations. He didn't get dumped by anybody.
It's so weird for me to sit here and think to myself, man, I really felt like he should have done better because he was playing so good. And so, like, it's totally unfair for me to even have that thought, but that's how much I expected out of him once the tournament started. Like, the fact that he didn't make top 3, like, breaks my heart. When he lost, because a lot of people are like, James, you didn't cry during the tournament, you know, what happened, whatever. It's a different flow, whatever, that, right? Whatever. Closest I might have come maybe was when Punko lost, because you could just see, like, just heart just...
Yeah,
right?
He's put so much work in.
Oh, man.
And it did pay off. I mean, he got 4th overall out of 32 of the best in the world. And the people he lost to were...
3-2.
3-2, both of them. Of course, they both finished top 3. Like, it's hard to say anything negative about that.
Yeah, honestly, like,
I would say
A. Yeah, you can't do anything worse than that because he played fantastic, and just like you said, from the growth that he's had in the year, it's hard not to give him. You just have to admire that. You know what I mean? So
I hear you on that. 3rd place, Razor Sien. With Gen, Poison, and Dalsum. Did he not play Elena at all?
I don't think he did.
I don't think
he ever needed to bust out Elena, no.
So, there was one Elena in the top half of the tournament, and it was Gamer B, and he didn't play her all the time. That's hilarious.
Dude, I'm telling you this right now. There's 2 or 3 people who tweeted this. And it's 100% true. Everyone, like Capcom Cup, the story of Capcom was literally, God, Elena's so broken, God, Elena's so broken, God, Elena's so broken. Capcom Cup happens, God, Yun is so broken, God, Yun is so broken. And it's just like, come on.
That's true.
At this point in time, like, let's just chill on that. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I would say A. The only reason I don't give him an A+ is because I thought he would win the whole tournament. And so my expectation is, like, not quite met, but... He got top 3, so yay!
Yeah, I mean, I would give him an A- only because he did worse than he did the previous 2 years.
What a jerk.
Look, dude, second, third. So I think Xian kind of falls in that category with Luffy of why don't people respect this guy more? Like, you always talk about... I mean, look, there are a lot of people who love Xian, right, and think he's amazing, right? But people don't bring him up when you talk about, like, the 5 greatest Street Fighter 4 players of all time. I even left him off the list the first time I made that list. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Dude, he is so ridiculous. He is so ridiculous. Such a good
He's in my top 5. Maybe my top 4 or top 3 even.
Well, everyone says that everyone respects Xian, so I don't know. Maybe it's just my...
Of course people respect Xian, but does everybody think he's top 5 ever? Like, maybe once you think about it after hearing... that Xian should be top 5, maybe like then it's more obvious. But in the past, when we've had who are the top 5 ever lists, which has come up a couple of times, he's often left off of it.
Yeah.
He really is. I don't know why. Anyway, so let's go through who he beat. 2-1 over Valmaster, 2-1 over Dashio, 3-2 over Keoma, 3-2 over Punko, 0-3 against Kazunoko. What a change. Then that was winners finals. Then losers... He lost to Daigo Umehara. So that's basically it. I really wish he hadn't gone with Dalsum.
Yeah.
That was it. That's the only blemish on his tournament.
Yeah.
He beat Daigo last year in Capcom Cup with Dalsum, but it was like Daigo was like starting to figure it out. You could even see during that set. And obviously Daigo would put in the work because he's Daigo, and also Dalsum's terrible. Yeah. He tweeted to me after I said on Twitter that I felt sorry for him for having gone with Dalsum because Dalsum is butt. He said that he thinks that Dalsum has more trouble against regular Ryu now, but that he still beats Evil Ryu. I just cannot agree with that. I just cannot. And there's like a there's a Dalsum player / fan Twitter DM group that I'm in. I didn't start it. Where
so it's like you and like 2 other people.
No, there's like a good half dozen people in there.
Okay, 6 people.
Something like that.
Okay.
And we all agreed that was a bad choice. Even though we love that character, he's a pile of poop, folks.
Who would you have gone with? Do you think you should have went with Elena? Do you think you should have tried Elena?
I don't know. I guess I'm surprised that... Because his reasoning was that he didn't think his Gen was up to that level. And I get that. So, I guess I expected him to have a character that was not Dawson.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know which character that would be. Maybe it's Elena, maybe it's Poison, something like that, but it's not Dawson.
Right.
It's not Dawson.
Okay. Well, 3rd place Yen.
3rd place Yen.
2nd place, 3rd place. Can't really be that upset.
He is fantastic.
So, yeah.
Mad Catz Daigo, 2nd place. Evil Ryu. Daigo. Let's see. What did you do? You beat Daiminion. Looking for this in here. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. 2 over Daiminion, 2-1 over Shiro, 3-1 over Infiltration. Got 3-0'd by Kazunoko. Dun, dun, dun. Then in loser side, he beat Snake Eyes 3-0. He beat Punko 3-2. He beat Xian 3-0. Then he lost to Kazunoko 3-2 in grand finals. It was getting closer in that set, but of course he didn't end up resetting the bracket. So, like A+, I mean,
yeah. Hey, look,
good work.
He said last year he went to the hyperbolic time chamber, didn't show anything to anybody. He showed up to Capcom Cup. He finished in the bottom half. Didn't do very well. This year, a lot of people were high on him and said that he was going to do well or whatever, and I was worried that the hyperbolic time chamber was going to be a problem again. But he made it work. So, yeah, he's Daigo Umehara, but he still kind of exceeded what maybe I even thought he was going to do in a weird way. But he looked fantastic. So
I got to say, it's unfortunate for him how the bracket worked out a little bit, because Kazunoko has been his demon of late. Not even just of late. Of course, Kazunoko beat him 7-0 at Topanga.
Yeah.
And then 3-0 in winner's side. So, if that had been anybody else, it might have been a different story. Maybe Daigo gets into winner's finals, etc. Maybe different. But so that's kind of unfortunate for him. But look, 2nd place, 3-2 loss in grand finals. That's almost as close as it comes.
Right. Did like your little comment. At least he didn't get 13-0'd.
I had to. I didn't. It's not like I wanted to. There's something compelling me.
It was just sitting there for the taking. Yeah, exactly. So, oh man.
And then winner of the whole thing, Kazunoko with Yun. The only person other than Abel who's not Keoma, who's not sponsored in that top 8. In fact,
you know what? The 2 unsponsored players are gonna get the S ranking from us.
That's funny. You're right though. Of course, you got to give him an S. You got to give him the maximum. He won the whole thing. Let's see. So he beat Strider. That was the closest match he had throughout until grand finals. 2-1. He then beat. Well, maybe that's the wrong word. He then blew up Problem X. He blew up Mise 3-0. He blew up Daigo 3-0. He blew up Shen 3-0. He then beat Daigo 3-2.
Right. Look. Kazunoko, we really need to talk about this guy, because I've been seeing a lot of comments from Twitter like, God, I can't believe this is how Ultra's going to end, with this guy winning with this stupid character. Or people like, oh, like everyone keeps calling out that comment that Snake Eyes had. I think it was on Excellent Adventures or something, where he basically said, like, I feel like Street Fighter 4 players are the smartest fighting game players.
Yeah, that's
and they're like, oh, look at Kazunoko, whatever. Blah. I mean, I've had some, like, I made a comment because there's that photo of him going around where it looks like he's flipping everybody off, by the way, where he's labeled as the genius. And I was like, that's why I asked the question, like, is he the genius? Like, where did he get that nickname from, right? And someone response was like, he's a good player, whatever, blah, but genius, I don't know, right? And I talked to him about it. He was like, no, you're right. I'm not giving him enough credit or whatever like that. But, dude, I don't know what it is that people just think that...
So was that video... I'm sorry, was that picture of him after the picture of Snake Eyes saying that SF4 players are the best, I thought that was intended to mean that they're not the best. Guilty Gear players are the best and the smartest, and because he was a Guilty Gear player, he won Street Fighter 4. That was my take. Was it the opposite? Okay, was it in fact saying SF4 players are dumb because they lost to Kazunoko?
I guess maybe that was the interpretation I had of it. So.
I mean, that's reasonable interpretation. I just didn't think about it. No, I just assumed that it meant that Guilty Gear players were awesome.
Right. Look, I
don't know.
I'm just okay. So some people are saying they think that's what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
That's what it was supposed to be. So, but regardless, I've definitely gotten a lot of impressions from people like, "Look at this garbage ass game. You let Yun win or whatever." Blah blah blah. Dude, Kazunoko is probably one of the smartest players that exists. Right? Like, I could say to anybody like who doesn't believe that Kazunoko's amazing, and you said this yourself too, right? Like, try playing Yun, see how hard it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, try to go up against Daigo and land as many Zampo tensions as he did.
Right.
Daigo escaped one command throw, punished it one time. Kazunoko landed that many times. In fact, you don't even have to play against Daigo. Play against some of your friends and try to land that many command throws with Yun. You're just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Kazunoko's reads were ridiculous. He played so smart. He played so good. There's just like, I don't know why anyone would ever sit there and be like, it's random. Like, oh, Yun scrub character. Like, look at this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so.
I'm really not sure.
It's really hard. It's really hard to use. It's a lot harder to use Yun than people think. And Filipino champ even tweeted, who's like, what, you think Yun's broken? May I remind you, there's only one Yun that ever does well in any of these tournaments. Right? I mean, if he was such a broken character, everyone would be using him. But not everybody does. So.
No. To be honest, other than basically Evil Ryu, like, no character has representation at that top level of more than like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
If you think about it. Just that's how Street Fighter 4 is. But that's the credit to the game, and Yun is included in that. Like, people could be playing Yun, but they're not. They're playing whatever their other character is. And doing okay, because Yun is not OP. Right? I mean, maybe Yun is top 10, maybe he's top 5 even, but other characters are definitionally top 5 or top 10. I mean, he's a good character. I don't think he's worthy of complaining about any more than any of the other characters are. It's just that when he wins, he looks so dominant. That's how he wins, right?
Look, I played against Xian Chang online one time.
Yeah.
And he didn't know it was me, of which I'm glad, because he just mopped me up, and it didn't even feel like I could move. It was really bad. And that's how Yun's going to make you feel when Yun is played right.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to play him right.
I've played against Xian Chang online many times, and even in lobbies where, like, 801 Strider's in there, and, like, Vae's in there, and, like, a bunch of other really good players, like Hyperu, whoever. But everybody gets dunked.
By Xian Chang,
by Xian Chang.
Yeah.
But that's non-tournament Xian, and non-tournament Xian Chang is, top 5 on the earth.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Anyway, again, that's not Yun, that's the player. It takes a very particular kind of player with excellent spacing and timing to make that kind of character work. Like, when you watch Kazunoko play versus Daigo he had to put himself into bad situations in order to deal with what Kazunoko was doing.
He literally did like 6 wake-up uppercuts in a row at one point.
Yeah, uppercuts. He also had to jump forward with, like, jump forward roundhouse and land after Yun did, because that's how that works. And so Yun got, like, free pressure out of it. He had to outrange the dive kick so much that Evil Ryu was not a threat anymore, because you're outside of crouching medium kick range. Right. You're not a threat. So that's Kazunoko. Like, Daigo could conceivably stand in Evil Ryu's range, right? He doesn't need to stand in Yun's range. It's just that's Kazunoko moving to the right spot very consistently, threatening from the right spots very consistently, and knowing when to strike.
Yeah, if you just watch the way he plays and really pay attention, because it looks oppressive when he gets the dive kick pressure going. But if you really take a look and notice how many times he doesn't dive kick, That's the key.
That
right
is the key
there.
for
That's
sure.
the key.
That's why the dive kicks are credible.
A lot of people see like it all the time. They're just like, oh, he just dive kick mash because they see dive kick. And they're like, why is this so broken? But watch how many times he jumps and just hits jumping strong, or jumping forward, or jump neutral jumps and does nothing, or jump forward and does nothing, or jump forward regular cross up. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that he uses the dive kick so smart, that to the point that Daigo was scared to touch buttons in a lot of situations, and that's what gave him the command throws so often.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So. Look, Kazunoko, I mean, look, they said Momochi is actually the guy whose nickname is the Genius in Japan and stuff like that. So, but Kazunoko, I mean, he's right there. Maybe they should call him the Wizard or something like that because, you know, I don't know.
Let's do it.
No, because we already have a Wizard, right? So, yeah, we can't do that. So, in any case, I think Yun is not as broken as people think. So.
No, he's not broken.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that much life. He doesn't have safe Dragon Punch options. He doesn't have a projectile. Like he's missing things. You know.
Fudo is the Wizard. Fair enough.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Good
call. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Maximum Yun is a very good character, and he's the only one who plays Maximum Yun in tournaments. So.
Yeah. Congratulations to Kazuma.
I'm really happy he won. I didn't think he would. I thought he would do well, but I didn't expect him to win. In fact, we'll talk about this in a bit, but in the fantasy brackets, only like 30 people or something out of almost 1,500 picked him to win.
I think people just forgot or something, because that's really crazy that few people picked him.
I'm not sure, yeah. But he's the one. Congrats to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We won $120,000, just like that.
Exactly.
Sounds so easy.
Someone said it was so funny too because there was the after party at the Foundry, right? And so a bunch of people were there, including Kazunoko. Someone said they walked into the Foundry and just saw Kazunoko standing there, like looking at his phone and looking around, like standing by himself, confused.
That's funny.
You're a champion 1 minute, and then hey, you're just hanging out another minute.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the FGC.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So yeah, I love that about the FGC. So.
Anything else about the gameplay?
Look, going into it, everyone was scared about Elena, dude. It just wasn't gonna happen.
You know what's funny is Gamer B didn't even stick to Elena in all of his matchups because Adon is better against Abel, for example.
Right.
You know,
and not
she
only
loses
that,
the characters.
When he picked Elena, he often went Ultra 1.
That's true, he did.
There wasn't even a lot of healing going on in the tournament.
He did pick Ultra 1 sometimes, yeah.
And I do want to say I was also correct at one point in the World Wars of Capcom Cup. I was like, maybe Xiaohai's going to bust out Elena at some point. And sure enough, he did. He busted out Elena versus Gamer B.
That's funny.
He actually tried to counterpick Adon with Elena. So...
Well, all I know is that Makoto finished higher than any Elena.
Yep.
So eat that.
Exactly.
So did Abel, who I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So did Seth, who I also think is ridiculous.
Right.
I don't think that Decapre and Chun-Li are ridiculous. I think Decapre is quite good. Chun-Li is like pretty good. Zangief is like a high tier, I would say. Evil Ryu is top tier. Gen is like a high tier. Mid even, maybe not even high. Poison, same. Dhalsim is the butt. The butt. Poopy pants butt.
I always want to argue with you, but it's so hard because you're right. He's butt. He's so bad in this game.
The thing about Dhalsim is that there are some matchups where he wins, which might not be the case for DJ. But DJ doesn't get destroyed by that many characters. He like loses by a little bit to everybody. Right.
Right.
Dhalsim just gets eaten alive by like half the cast, and then loses to most of the rest. Oh man! Hopefully, Street Fighter V will be a different story. And then Yun is probably high or top tier character.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about Capcom Cup specifically? I know we want to talk a little bit about the esportsy thing and stuff like that. Do you want to do that now? Do you want to take a break, come back, talk about that? Then we can talk about Fang and.
Yeah, let's take a short break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll talk about the non-gameplay side of Capcom Cup, including is FGC esports or maybe FGC sports.
All right, be right back.
And then also we'll do the fantasy bracket.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Reveal who won and who got second and third places
who
in the fantasy bracket.
Free Mad Catz products.
Exactly.
Right, so, all right, be right back.